Hello students, I hope you all are fine. This is Rabia here. We are dealing with the chapter tissues, and in previous class you learned that the plant tissue is classified into meristematic and the permanent tissue, and you learned that the meristematic tissue is classified into apical, lateral and intercalary meristem. In today's class, let us see the other classification of the plant tissue, that is the permanent tissue, where it is divided into simple and complex. So students, now how are these permanent tissues formed? How are these formed? So students, you must know that the permanent tissues arise from the meristematic tissues. From the meristematic tissues, there are some cells which will get differentiated into the permanent tissues. And the process is known as differentiation. Look at this example over here now. So here is a shoot meristem. So here are some meristematic tissues over here. This meristematic tissues will get developed and converted to a permanent tissue, that is the leaf. So here you can see a development where the undifferentiated cell is getting converted into a differentiated cell. So the meristematic tissue, when it is getting converted to the permanent tissue, the process is called differentiation. So here is a definition. The process in which the meristematic tissues takes a permanent shape, size and function is known as differentiation. So leaf has its own shape, size and it has its own function to perform. Likewise, any meristem, it will get converted into some specialized structures. Like it can be the fruit, it can be the leaf, it can be the branches, okay, it can be the flower as well. So this process of meristematic getting converted to the permanent tissue is known as differentiation, and this is how the permanent tissues are formed. Now students, permanent tissues are further classified into simple permanent and the complex permanent tissues. Let us see what are the simple permanent tissues. Students, simple permanent tissues are further classified into Parenchyma, Chlorine Clima and the Chlorine Clima. First, let us see what is this Parenchyma now. Observe this particular cells here. It's a tissue, and observe each cell. What is the shape of this cell? Each cell are of different shape. So you can say that the cells are polygonal in shape. And here you can see there are nucleus present, the spots. And also the cell wall is thin over here. Because the nucleus is present in this particular tissue, it's a living tissue. And here students, so this is a living tissue and the cell wall is very thin. And also you find intercellular spaces in some region, and in some region the intercellular spaces are absent. And these cells are unspecialized cells because they do not perform a specific function. It is only performing the storage function, that's it. Other than that, it's not performing any specific function. And also there are no depositions seen on the cell wall. That's the reason the cell walls are thin. It is having a nucleus, it's having the vacuole and the cytoplasm in it. So this is about the Parenchyma. Now students, this Parenchyma is further divided into two. One is the Chlorine Clima and Erin Chima. Observe this particular image here. These are the cells, and within the cells you find green color spots. And these green spots are nothing but the chloroplast, and hence the name it is Chlorine Clima. So whenever the Parenchyma cells have the chloroplast in them, it is known as Chlorine Clima. And you all definitely know the function of chloroplast. So it helps in the process of photosynthesis. And this Chlorine Clima is a specialized Parenchyma because it is performing the function of photosynthesis. Coming to the next one, here you can see, students, this is a tissue, and this tissue has some cavities here. space here. This space is filled with air. And whenever the parenchyma has this kind of air spaces in them, it is known as Erin Chima. And students, Erin Chima helps in buoyancy of the aquatic plants. So the water plants will be floating on the water because it has this Erin Chima tissues in them, so that it will float on water. So this is about the parenchyma. Now coming to the next one, just observe this particular diagram, students. So here you can see there is a cell wall. Nucleus is present. The blue color spherical structure is the